Outer Wilds is a game that has fascinated me again and again, and sometimes I forget why. I think of it as my favorite game, and I've always loved the story, but the details of why I love it often slips my mind. However, as I begun to ponder the question if a story can change someone's perspective on life, I knew that this question couldn't be answered without talking about Outer Wilds. But how can I talk about it if I don't even remember why I love it? Diving back into Outer Wilds felt like entering an old dream. The music transports you into a world far away, the sound of you waking up on this new planet full of characters and places you just barely remember. I played for about 20 minutes, talked to some of the people in town, explored a couple planets, and then I decided to fly into the mouth of an anglerfish. I was bored. And then again, that's the thing. I didn't really care much about what I had done in the game because what was the point? Don't get me wrong, the first 5 minutes were great. The music, the atmosphere, everything felt fresh. But once that faded away, it just felt like I was exploring my house. Nothing new. The spark just wasn't there. The only excitement it brought me was a bit of short-lived nostalgia, but it was clear that if I wanted to answer this question, I couldn't just look at my experiences with this game. When researching stories about Outer Wilds, it was clear that there are two types of people who played this game. Those that played for an hour or two and then gave it up, and those who played it out to the end. And the stories they told were truly fascinating. The particular beauty of it was that not everyone came away with the same message. There's a lot of people who thought different things about the game and felt differently, and some didn't even feel a thing at all. For me, it was a life-changing experience in a meta way. You will never experience this game the same way you did. It's over. It's gone. That feeling itself was somewhat life-changing. However, on the other side of the spectrum, you'll find stories like this one. I deal with quite a bit of anxiety, and since I was a kid, I always had a kind of existential fear. This game made me realize that there's no point to being afraid of something that's out of your control. The universe just is, and we are. The game didn't completely erase my issues with anxiety. I still have it a lot, but whenever it gets bad, I can think of the fact that in the grand scheme of things, I might as well enjoy the little time we get in this crazy universe. It's the kind of thing that makes you glad you stopped to smell the pine trees. That last bit was a quote from the game. During the few weeks I played Outer Wilds, my grandfather was dying. He was very old, and he had been ready to go for months, but his body was stubborn and wouldn't let go. Outer Wilds really drove home for me the fact that death is a part of life, and that it can be a beautiful release. When it's your time, it should be embraced. My dad messaged my brother and I to tell us that Grandpa had finally slipped away in his sleep. As soon as I read that message, 14.3 billion years, a song in Outer Wilds, started playing in my head. It's stories like this that truly drive home the fact that Outer Wilds isn't just your average game. It truly changes people, it gives people new perspectives, and it helps them through tough times. But how does it do this? What is so special about this game? I believe it is because of how the story is presented. You see, unlike other stories, you actually control this one. And I don't mean just move your character around as they navigate the linear plot. I mean you actually get to choose where to go. In Outer Wilds, the story is scattered through a tiny digital solar system. Different components are found on different planets, and it's your responsibility to uncover them in whatever order you'd like. However, unlike other story games with this much freedom, there is actually only one ending. You see, Outer Wilds is set up like a jigsaw puzzle. These components scattered around the planets are like puzzle pieces. And just like a puzzle, the only thing canon is where you finish. In my conclusion, the reason why stories that are set up this way resonate so much with people is because they're navigating through them just as they navigate through life. Everyone is born and everyone will die, but how you get from point A to point B is up to you. You might ask yourself, so what? So what if the story is able to resonate with you? Plenty of books and movies do the same thing with countless people. Just because it's able to put you in the story doesn't make the story good. So, what makes the story worth telling? Outer Wilds is a time loop game about a space explorer from a tiny Earth-like planet. Your mission is simple: explore the stars. However, there's a catch. Every 22 minutes, the sun explodes and your memories are sent back in time. So you have to act quick in order to learn as much as you can. You are equipped with a translator to read alien texts, a signal scope to identify sounds, and a little camera that you can propel into places that are out of reach. As you explore, you begin to uncover the mysteries of the Nomais, an old alien race that once lived in your solar system. Their story is one of tragedy. They crash-landed in a thorny planet while searching for a signal called the Eye of the Universe. Isolated from the rest of their clan, they thought of ways that they can find their way back home. Once all hope was lost and they gave up, they ended up switching their focus on something different, finding the Eye. After many attempts, they came up with a solution. They called it the Ash Twin Project. They attempted to use the power of a supernova to create a 22-minute time loop. In the beginning of each loop, a probe would shoot in a random direction, searching for the Eye. It was a flawless plan, except for one thing. While they were constructing the last element of the project, a stray ice comet full of dangerous matter entered the solar system. Once it got close to the sun, it ruptured, sending a dangerous matter throughout the solar system, ending the story of the Nomai. Fast forward 300,000 years, the sun has gone its cycle, and it's about to trigger the eons-old project. Now you are stuck in this time loop, but when you first play the game, none of this is explained in a cutscene or rolling text. This is the game. The story is the gameplay. It's the puzzle you have to put together, and once that puzzle is complete, once you put all your energy into finishing the legacy of the Nomai, once you have all the pieces to make your journey to the Eye, you realize it's all for nothing. As you gaze your eyes upon the Eye, there's an otherworldly feeling of awe. Something no one has ever seen, something you've only heard of is now, finally, right in front of your eyes. So, you jump in. You find yourself back in the place where you started. The museum, now with updated information from your travels. You take a look at the map that has helped you along your way, and it shows you how small you really are. The stars become fireflies, and space turns into a forest. Here, you find the friends you made throughout the journey sitting by a campfire, playing their instruments. Before now, you've only heard each individual part, but together, they make a harmonious symphony, a song for the end of the universe. In the end, this journey isn't for nothing. It isn't a story of doomsday or destruction. It's a story of rebirth. So, can a story change someone's perspective on life? I believe that if you present a story correctly and the story is worth telling, it can do more change than you can imagine. I can attest, it certainly changed me. Before I played this game, I avoided thinking about what would happen once I died. I just thought of it as an issue that will never be solved. And my purpose in this world is too much to comprehend, so I didn't really think about stuff like that. But now I believe that life doesn't really have a meaning, and that's what gives it purpose. I am no longer looking for a meaning to life. I am giving it a meaning. I have chosen to take that lift up and explore the stars rather than sit and watch them by a campfire. And that, I feel, has given me purpose.